everyone. Kunafa is a dessert which is loved by most people all over the world. So today, I will be showing you how to make this very famous Middle Eastern dessert. I hope you enjoy the video. So today I'll be making two types of kunafas. The first one is the authentic one with the Kunafa dough. And the second one, which I've heard so much about, with vermicelli. Now this is going to be my first try. So let's see how it turns out. First, let's start with the authentic way of making kunafa. Here I have 500 grams of kunafa dough. The texture is soft, unlike vermicelli. 300 grams of mozzarella cheese. To that I would be adding 200 grams of fresh cream. 1/8 of a cup of sugar and 60 grams of salted butter. We'll first start by breaking the kunafa dough. Use both your hands to rip it apart well. And break it into tiny pieces. Just the way I'm doing right now. This is what it should look like. To this we'll now add the sugar and mix it well. After this, let's add the 60 grams of butter, which I have melted in the microwave. Now mix everything really well. Every strand of the dough needs to be covered with the butter. Once this is done, keep it aside, and now I'll show you the ingredients that's needed for the sugar syrup. Here I have 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of water. I'll be using 2 teaspoons of rose water and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. If you like, you can also use saffron, but I like to keep it simple with just rose water and lemon juice. So now let's start making the syrup. Here I've added the 2 cups of water and the sugar. Once the water starts simmering, you add the lemon juice. Then you give it a stir, and when the syrup starts boiling, you add the rose water. Let it boil for approximately 2 minutes. Then switch off the gas and keep the syrup aside. Now let's prepare the filling for the kunafa. All you need to do is just add the cream to the mozzarella cheese and mix it thoroughly till both are combined well. Okay, now let me tell you here that you need not take the exact amount of cheese to cream that I have taken. You can either take more of cheese and less of cream, or the other way around. Here I've taken a pinch of orange food color and I'll be adding it to the butter. This is just to give the kunafa that authentic orange look. Now we'll generously apply the butter all over the pan, covering every part of it. This is just so that the kunafa should not stick to the pan. Now once it's done, we'll keep it aside. And here I decided to make these mini kunafas in a cupcake pan. They're really cute and my kids absolutely love it this way. You need to grease the pans very well because we do not want the kunafa to get stuck to it when we're trying to take it off from the pan. Now let's start layering the kunafa. First we'll put a layer of the kunafa dough right at the bottom. I usually like putting 2/3 of it at the bottom because that is a layer that's going to be the thicker part, since we'll be flipping this kunafa over. Now I've taken a flat bottom bowl. You can use a glass or anything that is flat, and press it. Press it well so that there's no gap in between the kunafa. Now we add the mixture. Spread it gently, and you need to keep some gap on the edges so that this mixture does not get stuck on the sides of the pan, or else this is going to melt and then spread and get stuck on the pan. I will be leaving some filling aside for the mini kunafas. Now we'll take the remaining kunafa dough and put the topmost layer. This eventually is going to be the bottom layer because we will be flipping it over. Now let's layer the trays for the mini kunafas. This is going to be the same process, where you put the kunafa dough first, then you add the cheese mixture and the final layer of the kunafa dough again. Now let's start with the second type of kunafa. Here I've taken 400 grams of vermicelli and crush it well with both your hands. You can use a food processor here too, however it could get a little too fine, so I would suggest you use your hands to crush it. Now we add the melted butter. Here I've taken 50 grams of salted butter. Combine both well until all the vermicelli is coated with butter. I had heard quite a lot about this variation of the kunafa and was so eager to try it out. For this kunafa, I would be using a different type of filling. Here I've taken 250 ml of milk, 2 tablespoons of cornflour and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Here I have 100 grams of mozzarella cheese. If you do not have mozzarella, you can either use cream cheese or fresh cream or even cheese cubes. Now before turning on the gas, we'll first combine the ingredients. I've taken half the quantity of milk. To that I've added the cornflour and sugar and mix it well. Now we'll add the remaining milk and mix it well again. If you add cornflour to hot liquid, it's just going to turn lumpy. It will not mix well. Now we'll turn on the gas and cook it for around 2 minutes. This mixture thickens very fast, so you have to keep stirring. Can you see it's already beginning to thicken? You have to keep stirring it. Now let's add the cheese and switch off the gas. The cheese will melt with the heat of the mixture. The reason why I've used mozzarella in this filling is because I had some left over from the previous kunafa. Once it's mixed well, we'll start to assemble the kunafa. Let's start by greasing the pan. I have greased the pan the same way as I've done previously. Please make sure you grease the pan very well. We do not want the kunafa to get stuck on the sides or the bottom of the pan. follow the same process like we did for the previous kunafa. Just put a layer of vermicelli first, press it down. Now since vermicelli has a heavier texture, we do not need any bowl or glass to press it down. Fingers work pretty well. But just in case you want to be absolutely sure, you can use a bowl. Now just in case your filling has turned lumpy, you just give it a quick stir. That should make the consistency smooth again. Now we'll spread it over the vermicelli and please ensure to keep some gap at the edge. Once this is done, we'll add the final layer of vermicelli. I made a mistake of using a bigger pan. I would suggest you use a pan which has almost the same height of the kunafa. That way it'll be easier to flip it over. So here on the right we have the one with the kunafa dough and on the left is the one with the vermicelli. Now I have baked these in a preheated oven of 180 degrees for 25 minutes. So by now the sugar syrup would have cooled down. So you generously pour it all over the top layer of the kunafa. Now take a knife and run it around the edge just in case the kunafa is stuck to the pan. Now to flip it over, you put the plate on top of it and turn it around this way. And look at that, so beautiful. I was so excited that I immediately started decorating it. But then I suddenly realized I've got to add some sugar syrup first. You can use as much sugar syrup as you like. We do not like too much of it, and that's the reason why I'm using just a little bit. Now you can decorate it the way you want. That was the hand of my little one who was very patiently waiting for me to finish recording. Now let's go ahead and cut it. Just look at that. Amazing. It tastes so good as well. I had to do this for the video. Oh my goodness, it tasted so good. And this is the reason why I like using mozzarella. Not only does it taste amazing, it looks so good too. Now here are those cute little kunafas I'd made for the kids. Okay, now let's talk about my first experience of the vermicelli kunafa. I did drench it with sugar syrup, and in fact I added extra sugar syrup because I understand vermicelli is thicker and more dry than the actual kunafa dough. However, it did not soak the syrup well, and it was quite tough to chew too. So what I did was I covered it well with a cling film or a plastic wrap, and I kept it in the fridge overnight, hoping that the sugar syrup would make the vermicelli soft. Once I took it out from the fridge, I microwaved it for 30 seconds. But I still wasn't happy with the texture of this kunafa. Although it tasted very nice, but it was very chewy. This is a good substitute for the kunafa, but it definitely isn't kunafa. So I really hope you liked today's video, and if you did, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.